A few years ago, NFTs were everywhere. People were flipping JPEGs for six figures. Celebrities were launching their own collections. And it felt like the next big thing. Fast forward to now, most people are asking a very different question. Can you still make money with NFTs? Or is that era completely over? In this video, I want to take a realistic look at NFTs, what went wrong with them, why the bubble burst, and whether there's still any opportunity left at all. So what actually happened to NFTs? Well, let's start with the obvious. The NFT boom wasn't driven by utility, it was driven by speculation. People weren't buying NFTs because they needed them, they were buying them because they thought somebody else would pay more for them later. Now that works until it doesn't. Kind of similar to cryptocurrency if I'm honest, but we'll get onto that later. So when interest slowed down, liquidity vanished. Suddenly there were fewer buyers, falling prices, abandoned projects, and collections worth a fraction of their peak value. The bubble didn't slowly deflate, it popped. Now there were a few big problems with the NFT space. For starters, there were too many low quality projects. Anybody could mint an NFT, and most offered no real value beyond community. There was no clear reason to hold either. Once hype faded, there was no incentive to stay invested. And easy money attracted the wrong crowd. Scammers, cash grabs, and copy-paste collections flooded the market. So NFTs didn't necessarily fail because the technology was useless. They failed because expectations were completely unrealistic. So can you still make money with NFTs today? So here's the honest answer. You can, but it's much harder and a lot more niche. So making money with NFTs today usually falls into a few different categories. So creating NFTs with actual utility is quite important. Things like game assets, memberships, access passes, digital licenses. It's not art for art's sake, but NFTs that do something. Being early in specific ecosystems, most profit now comes from being deeply involved in small communities, understanding platforms before they grow, and spotting use cases early. So it's not luck, it's research and patience. Using NFTs as a tool, not the product. So some creators use NFTs as bonus content, gated access, or proof of ownership. So in this case, the NFT supports the business. It doesn't replace it. But when comparing NFTs with other digital assets, how do they stack up? Well, NFTs, they are highly speculative, illiquid, niche audiences, and the value depends heavily on demand. As mentioned earlier, this is quite similar to cryptocurrency. The thing is with cryptocurrency is the whole point of it is to be used as a currency or a store of value. Now, a lot of cryptos will not be good and will be very bad projects, but there are plenty of cases where you can use cryptocurrency to pay for things. NFTs, it's not quite the same. And if you compare NFTs to digital assets, such as online businesses, digital products, content platforms, or skills and services, these all generate cash flow and they scale more easily, and importantly, they don't rely on hype. Although hype can help. But that's also why many people who have made lots of money in NFTs tend to move onto other areas. But NFTs, they're probably not for you if you want super quick profits, as that's not looking likely these days. You don't want to research too deeply, as that's going to be kind of essential if you are going to find those golden NFT projects. If you hate volatility, maybe don't go for it. If you need predictable income, this probably wouldn't be a great idea either, or you're just following trends. Essentially, these days NFTs are not a shortcut to lots of income like they once were. However, here's where NFTs might still make sense. If you're a developer building a game world or a virtual world, they could be used in this case. If you're a creator with a very loyal audience, that could be a good idea. Brands using NFTs for access or loyalty, that's also a great shout. And then you have the niche communities with real engagement, they could also work here as well. There's nothing wrong with the technology, it's just about finding an actual use case. But even then, NFTs are usually part of the bigger strategy and not the whole thing. So can you still make money with NFTs? Yes, but only if you understand the risks, you focus on real value, you're patient, and you don't rely on hype. For most people, there are simpler, safer ways to make money online, and if you're interested in finding out about that, then watch my video here. But what do you think? Are NFTs still a viable option? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.